Hi, with this video we want to go through the setup of assigning an IP address, gateway, DNS server, and change the screen resolution. It's a little bit small right here. So just a couple of housekeeping things to make our Linux machine more useful. So let's go ahead and change the screen resolution first. So to do that, we're looking for the settings utilities, group of utilities, and so we did that off of applications, system tools, and settings. And in here we're looking for display, so we'll click on that, and then we click on this, and here's where you have the option then to change your screen resolution. I'm going to go with 1024 by 768. Alright, simple enough. So next let's go look at setting the IP address, and for that particular function, and for a lot of what we're going to do, we're going to use the YAST utility. It's a very helpful utility. It's kind of unique to SUSE Linux. It's a nice graphical utility. We need to authenticate as root, and that's our password that we selected. Alright, so we're looking for network settings. Here we are. Okay. Let's go look at the opening screen first off. We've got the tabs across the top. So we're going to turn off IPv6. Our focus with the project is not so much IPv6, just IPv4 and functionality between the multiple operating systems. Okay, so here we're on the overview tab where we have our network card listed here, and it gives us our MAC address and whatnot down here. But let's go ahead and edit that and give it an IP address. So we're looking for static. We just can type it in here. Alright, then once again this is going to be unique for all of us. Mine being 18, 192.168.18, and my host name is LNX. That's common for all of us. And going to the next tab across the top, here we can assign our name servers, and we're going to use our DC1, which is 172.16.200. Again, unique for me on the third digit. Our host name up here, LNX. And then our domain name, mine is ak.bobstaco.com. Okay, that. Then we're going to go back in and check our default gateway on the routing tab. Okay, so open up the utility again. There we go, and on the routing tab. Okay. And this is the interface on RTR that's over on the DevNet side, and that's on Ether0. Linux uses these designations, Ether0, Ether1. Microsoft has their own designations too, and Ether0 is the traditional first network card. So I think we've got everything we need here. The next thing to do would be to test it and see if we can ping. Yes, in the past I often would do a reboot here, but I think we'll be okay. So let's go ahead to our utilities and you open our terminal, our GNOME terminal, and get that bigger. You can see here we're currently signed in as the site root account which we created, and for some of the settings you need to be the super user. In Windows that's administrator, and in Linux it's root. Well, you can invoke super user privileges per command, which is kind of handy, and you do that using the sudo command, S-U-D-O. So you can preface any command with sudo, and then that'll prompt you for the root password and then execute that individual command as root. So the command that I want to do is ifconfig, and that does require root privileges. It's prompting me now for that password as I mentioned, and so we enter that here. Okay, so this is how it displays in Linux, and this is really traditional. This is how it would look in pretty much every Linux distribution that I've ever seen. And we just validate here that our IP address is set. Got our broadcast address, our mask, our hardware address. We would need to do a route statement to see the default gateway. Let's go ahead and issue a ping command. And again, if we had DNS set up, we could ping by name. But pings are successful, which is cool. Now with Linux, the ping command just continues going until you tell it to quit. So Control C will interrupt that. Alrighty, so we did it. We got our Linux machine configured onto the network, onto the internet. We got the screen resolution changed to make it a little bit larger for us. And it's now communicating with the rest of our hosts on our network. So good deal. We'll wrap up this video.